Well, the Pats are hot. This is off to the Eastern Conference WHL series for the first time since 1993, having staged that incredible comeback in their series with the Swift Current Broncos. The team's success on ice adds up to money in the bank. Stacey Cattell is the Pats' chief operating officer, and he's in our Regina studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, I got to ask you about ticket sales. They sold out those first two games of the series?
Yeah, it didn't take very long. We've had actually a incredible response from our fan base prior to the playoffs starting. So I think that gives us a little bit of a leg up that we were already looking at 3,300 or so committed tickets. So when the frenzy continues to build, it didn't take long, about 9 minutes for both games to go. And that's a combination of people showing up to try and buy tickets in person, but also online.
There was a little bit of a concern about scalpers reselling tickets. Some are saying even $100 a piece. Are you guys taking a look at that and what is within your control and what's outside of your control?
Well, that's kind of the biggest question, is what's inside of your control. And I think, all we can do, much like any other organization and or concert person or act that's selling tickets, there is the Saskatchewan Act, which really is more of a protection for the buyer, not the seller. We really can't do much to control someone that buys tickets and decides to try and sell them via another method and
Can you limit
increasing the
quantity
price
or something like
well,
that?
Well, what we've done, and actually moving into this, because this is kind of new for us. It's great to be popular.
Yeah,
and it's
but
amazing.
Comes with some challenges.
Well, it does. So with our partners at Ticketmaster, but also locally with Safeway, we did put some caps on what people can purchase this time. So at Ticketmaster, you could only buy 8 tickets, and at Safeway, you could only buy 4 per person. But again, there are people that will work their way around that and then make the choice to try and scalp them and sell them at higher prices. The act actually, the Ed Sheeran concert in the province, the provincial government came out with some tips for buyers. So look at where, if you see them online, is it American site? Is it American dollars? All those things are things that people need to consider before they buy. And
I do want to ask you overall what it means for the Pats' bottom line. Both when you look at everything from the past few weeks and merchandise, tickets. What does it all mean for the team's bottom line?
Well, obviously it's very positive, and it's been great, especially for our ownership group, who, when they took over 3 years ago, made some significant investments to not just improve the fan experience, but also improve the hockey experience. Brought in a great coach who's built a wonderful coaching staff. We've got great players, and that success on the ice, obviously now, is leading to success at the box office. Last year, our season ticket, or actually our end of the year average sales or attendance was around 4,562 people. This year at the end of the regular season, we were over 5,450. So, that obviously means more money. And then when you get into the playoffs and every single game is sold out, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Can you put a dollar figure on where you're at?
Well, it's a pretty good dollar figure.
Okay.
It's tough to determine right now because certainly our goal is to get to a point where we're a profitable organization, and that most likely will happen this year. Especially after a couple of years of heavy investment, and that's okay. We're going to get there. This is a long-term approach for us.
What's the big merchandise seller? What's flying off the shelves?
Jerseys. Much like I think the success that the Riders have seen, our jersey now is becoming one of the most popular things in the city. And when you look at our fan base, you're seeing more and more of that jerseys. We're literally scrambling to try and get more right now. We are completely sold out of the blue jersey, which has happened numerous times this year, and we're down to maybe 60 whites. So we're applying pressure to our suppliers to try and get some of that, because it's not just for this season, it's for the summer and as we roll into next season. But merchandise sales are well over almost 50% more than they were last year overall, And I think after the third game of the playoffs, we had already exceeded what we sold last year. So it's been great.
So what is all of this? I mean, you're being coy about how much money the Pats have, but the money that you do have, what does that enable you to do? What things can you look at accomplishing that maybe you couldn't have had the team not been doing so well?
Well, one is we continue to invest in our fan experience, and that's really important to us. The purchase of the clock a couple years ago has really made a difference for us in that environment. So we're going to continue to augment that. And at the same time, we're in a very old building, 40 years old. And a lot of the stuff, I was a student working for the Pats over 30 years ago. And there's not a lot of change in that building. So there's upgrade that we have to do.
And especially with the Memorial Cup, is it tied to that and trying to, be in good shape for the Memorial Cup?
Right. The Memorial Cup Committee and Evraz are going to work on renovations, which obviously are going to benefit us. And because we're involved in the Memorial Cup, that will come to a benefit for us. But, again, continuing to invest in our product to ensure that our coaches have the resources that they have, that our players have within the rules the resources that they need, and we'll just continue to hopefully things keep going well. We got a great group of young men who are working really hard, and we're just looking for more success as the playoffs continue.
Got literally 10 seconds here, but on a personal level, as someone who's been tied to the Pats for so long, how excited are you about where the team is today?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's wonderful to see this brand elevated in this marketplace again, and the excitement of the fans has just been tremendous.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in, Stacey.
You're welcome.
Stacey Cattell is the Chief Operating Officer for the Regina Pats.